Good morning, everyone. Let's figure out why it's broadcasting to the world. I'll give some people some time to log in. Good morning, Allison, Anitris, Atrell, Melanie, Valerie, Toya. What's going on? I'm gonna give everybody a few minutes. And I gotta figure out why this is like public right now. That's just rude. Y'all wake up. Don't do it. Hey, please don't do it. Y'all know how I feel about Drake. So today we're gonna be doing hair cutting. I gotta figure out why. You're in the chat room, say good morning. I see you guys, Archel and Valerie. Everybody just say hello. Let me know that you can hear me. Let me know you can hear that Drake. Hey, hey, hey. Money over everything, money on my mind. Why that's so empty? So I'm waiting for a couple people to get in. I also need to figure out why this is like public information right now. Overdue. We're cutting hair today. Hey, Latanya. What up, Toya? Hey, y'all. What everybody been up to? Hope you guys had a good holiday. I didn't even do anything exciting for the holiday. I was like, whatever. That's horrible. They know. Hey, they know. I'm trying to figure out why. Okay, y'all, I have like a little technical issue. It's playing this in YouTube. I don't even understand what's going on. Okay, take that off. And what is this? Get off of my screen. I'm about to get a team for this. It's not my job. It's not my job. Okay. Take off that. There we go. I don't know what this little color thing is. Good morning, ready to learn. What's up, Desiree? Okay, first I need to talk to y'all about y'all accounts. Because we got some interesting stories with these accounts. It's 8:04. Give it like 2 more minutes and let some people come in. I know everybody want to hear the live versus the replay. And you know, I got some emails about the replays, and I do realize I move fast and I talk fast, and we do a lot in 2 hours. So I'm gonna, you know, make sure I slow it down and just give you 1 nugget versus giving you 100 nuggets. That way you can, you know, take more action and, you know, work that out. So I did read those emails. And also, just a reminder, when you signed up for Short Hair Bootcamp Live, so that website, you always go there to log in. So you just go there, use your username and password, and that's where I post the links to the new live classes. And also, you'll see the next live class date, and there's going to be a timer in there as well. And anytime you want to go watch a replay, that's where the replays will be in that website. Also, just make sure that you check your email because that's how I communicate. What is this thing doing? So I communicate through email, and I send out the class schedule, any type of updates. That's the way I'm going to communicate them to you. So just be sure you check your email because that's where this stuff comes. And that's how you know what's happening. Because I have a lot of people going, when's the next class? So that just tells me that you're not logging in. And you may, I don't know what's happening if you don't know how or whatever. So just know that shorthairbootcamplive.com is where, that's where your replays are going to be. And then that's where your email address, whatever you signed up with, I'm still going to be sending out. So just in case you forget to log in or you're busy, life happens, I'll be sending out emails as well to communicate with you and to let you know when the next classes are. And when you sign up for the next webinar, that also, it automatically sends you reminders, like I think an hour, 2 hours before, 30 minutes before. So you have reminders, because I know how you get busy. I have mastermind groups that I'm in, and I pay monthly fees as well. So I understand when life happens, but you still, you know, need to be kept on schedule. So I'm trying to keep you guys on schedule, so you get the live feel, you can ask questions. So today, what I really wanted to focus on is a technique that when I learned how to do this technique, it changed my hair game. It made me more confident. It made my styles look edgier. And it is my go-to technique that I use and that people freaking love. White, black, Asian, you know, whatever. You know, any type of hair, this is my go-to technique, and it just works. And so I always think, you know how you have to learn something a million times and see it done a million times. And just from traveling on the road with L'Oreal, I can tell you that this technique is not going anywhere, and it always shows up with different names. But the basic name for this technique is called point cutting. And so this type of cutting basically allows your styles to have a textured look. It's funky, it's edgy, and you can do a lot of different types of point cutting to achieve certain looks. So maybe you have curly hair and you want to use your fingers and just like point cut the hair, so that if you guys have ever cut curly hair, if you cut it blunt cutting, which blunt cutting is taking your shears and just basically just doing a cut like this. There we go, camera's over there. So that's a blunt cut. Anytime you blunt cut curly hair, it looks like a little round poof mess. So it gives you a variation from blunt cutting. Most people blunt cut, it's very organized on regular hair. You just take the hair out and then you just do just a regular line. You're not giving it texture. So today I want to talk about point cutting because it's fun. It's very forgiving too. So it just makes haircuts look modern. So I'm gonna give like 2 more minutes. I know some people are like emailing and texting that they didn't know what was happening. I don't know. So I'll, can I get 1 second? I'll just do this. I don't know where my mouse pad is, so I'm going to improvise. Can everyone see okay? I don't know how to pronounce your name. I wish you could talk because I want to know how to say your name. Arwish. I just feel like I'm just going to jack it up. So I'm going to leave it alone. But hey, girl. A-R-W-E. What is this thing on my screen? Okay. There we go. So I'm pretty sure you can't see my notes. So first of all, with hair cutting, let's talk about the basics. And I know this is what I feel about the basics. You never get away from them. I go to so many master classes with Matrix and L'Oreal, and we always start with the basics. If you go to Vidal Sassoon classes, they're going to start with the basics. And so I'm just going to talk about some general basics that you should know. And also, you know, we forget. So just a reminder, when you're cutting hair, you have to read the hair. And so reading the hair is looking for hair growth patterns, looking for cowlicks, looking for all the little things like around the ear area. Sometimes some people's their hair splits around here. And so this is extremely important because when you're cutting hair, you need to notice what's unique about that head shape. Because when you do your cut, it's not a one cut fit all, because you can do your same little wham bam cut on this person, but if they have a cowlick here or cowlick there and they go home and they're wearing their cut and they're trying to do their hair, but they keep having hair stick up in random places, like, you know, say they have a really bad cowlick right here and you do your basic cut, but not keep in mind that because if the hair is pushing a certain way, you need to go and leave more hair there so that the longer hairs can lay down the shorter hairs. It's a lot of little tricks that you have to learn about hair growth patterns. And we'll have a class specifically for that. But anytime I approach a haircut, you have to like kind of read the hair, see what's going on, see if there's anything that you need to know about that when you look at that person. It's very visual. When you look at that person, screw the books, screw the rules, what is unique to them? And so that's when you go into customizing your haircut. And customers appreciate that because they're like, wow, like she noticed this was going on. And then when you notice something, make sure that you tell them. Make sure that you say, well, you have a growth pattern here, you have a cowlick here, you have this and that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to over direct the hair so that the longer pieces push the shorter pieces down so you don't have this little pop up. The client gonna be like, what, girl, you doing that for me? They're gonna be excited. So that is just what reading the hair is all about. It's about watching for natural falls, watching for growths, watching, you know, face shape, of course, and eye shape. That's always you do that first before you go into cutting. But you know, just reading the hair and understanding what's going on versus just starting a haircut and not noticing the shape of the face or the hair growth patterns. Everybody, so everybody got that? I know everybody, some people still logging in. Everybody saying, hey, ready to learn. Good morning. So I have a model today, and I wanted to really, like I said, focus on point cutting. And we're going to get into it. It's very simple, and it's, like I said, it's very forgiving. So that's why I love it, and that's why I wanted to share it, because once you learn it, it's going to make your cuts look so much more modern. Because here's the deal. What I'm seeing on the haircuts, and you know, I'm not the end all be all, but I can tell you right now, clients are looking for modern, feminine lines. They're looking for things that are just softer. So nobody wants to see, you know, the bump, roll by roll by roll by roll by roll. Like you gotta break it up. And I promise you, it's not just me saying that. Clients are, and I'm in a new city, and out here everybody cuts pretty much the same. They're just doing blunt cuts. They're shaving it all the way up to here, and then they're just doing like some curls right there. We gotta break that up. Oh, I'm beating on the model. It's Becky. Y'all remember Becky? Say, hey, Becky. So what we want to do is, the reason why I want to show point cutting is because we got to break it up, and it has to be natural. It needs to flow. It needs to have texture. And so point cutting gives you that texture. So we want to get away from like just shaving, you know, hard. Like point cutting helps you lay the hair down, and it gives texture in the hair without having to shave it all off and then just kind of blunt cut all the way around. So I thought it would be appropriate to kick off this hair cutting with the techniques, like my little go-to techniques that a lot of people use. A lot of stars, a lot of, you know, celebrity hairstylists, they use this technique, and it gives the hair an edge. And like I said, the clients are looking for that. You have to remember, people are looking at the Hallies and the Tonys, and they're looking at them. They're trying to figure out what the difference is from their haircut. And in LA, especially, most people are still cutting hair like the 90s and the 80s, and everything's really boxy and blunt, and it's like, I don't even know. Like your client should be able to, like I have not curled my hair. I remolded my hair, but I razor cut it, and I point cut my hair. So you want your clients to be able to mold and go if they have to. And trust me, they don't know how to vocalize what they're seeing, but they know that the box cuts, they're like, okay, my cut don't look like, you know, so-and-so, because it's too organized. So I want to teach you some disruption so that you can break it up. So we have a model. Everyone say, hey, model. Her name is Lachelle. She's going to come in. Come on, girl, have a seat. We're going to give her a cape. I don't see no. Y'all better say, hey, Lachelle. Hey. I know it's a delay. And so I have my little notes because I ain't want to ramble. Because y'all know I talk too much. So I don't know if you can see. Let me put this in front of Lachelle. Let's see where the camera is. Having issue, clients want more hair on the back, but without working out, they're not able to make. Okay, we'll address that. So let's see if I can get the camera to pick up my little notes here. Look at God, he is good, honey. So there we go. They said, hey. Say, hey, Melanie. Archer said, hey. Right on. So I don't know why I started saying right on. I don't know who put that in my vocabulary. That is such a ghetto thing that I'm saying. My brother or somebody. Right on. Anyway, so they're saying, hey. Okay, good. So you guys are hearing me loud and clear. So we're going to talk about point cutting. Excuse my gibberish notes. Let me see if I can make it a little clearer for you guys. Let's see if I can scoop that. Let's just. Good job, Monet. We may cut your hair on camera. She said she needed a haircut. See how they put you on the spot? Well, I need a haircut. So, oh wait, now I gotta zoom out a little bit. Let's see here. Hold on, y'all. Let me zoom a little bit. There we go. So I just don't laugh at my drawings. Don't laugh. So I just wanted to draw out the shapes of the head. This is like I never get tired of looking at this. So you never want to be a hairstylist. They go, oh, I seen that. Oh, girl, I already know. Have several seats. It's the whole stadium actually, because you have to keep studying it so that you can find something different and find your groove and find what's unique to you. So I love looking at head shapes, and I'm always studying. And when I start cutting, that's when stuff comes to life. But it's knowing the parts of the head and how the hair grows out and what happens if you pull hair in certain directions. So when I teach, I may say, I just want to be clear. You always have to teach to, the person you want to teach to the newest person in the room. Therefore, the oldest person and the newest person understand it. So I'm going to start with basics and just point out when I say the nape area, you guys know, and someone just asked a question about the nape. I will get to that at the end of class. This area right here, that's your nape area. Okay. When I say the occipital bone, so at the round of the head, that's going to be like right there before it drops off into the nape. Okay. That's your occipital. That's very important area. You have your parietal bone. It's right above, right? And then you have your parietal ridge, which is really right along that crown and temporal area. Temporal area is that front area, the sides. This is where the waves are. This is where your wispies, if you want the sides to look, more wispy and cute, whatever. This is the temporal area. So that's right from the kind of like the back of the ear forward, okay? And then we're going to go into the crown. The crown is the highest point of the head, okay? And so if you see how I drew this shape, I typically, in most haircuts that you see, oh my gosh, if you don't know, you guys, I travel with L'Oreal for pretty much a year. And so we got so many master cutting classes. It was insanity, like on crack. We were doing so many classes. It was crazy. But most classes, the cut starts with taking a horseshoe section. And when they say a horseshoe section, here's y'all don't laugh. They look like a little bug or something, a cat. But this is the top of the head. So this is the crown right here. Oh, you can't see that, but that's the crown. So this is like the top view of this. And so most haircuts start with the horseshoe section. So you're going to go from the temporal region all the way around to the crown. The crown's going to be the highest point of the head. And then you're going to take that from that area and go all the way around to the other side, top of the ear, temporal region. And so that's going to be, just think the shape of a horseshoe. And so that's how we're going to start this haircut that I'm about to show you. And we're going to section off the temporal areas, which is, like I said, behind the ear, right behind the ear on forward. That's going to be your temporal regions. And then we're going to have from the occipital down to the nape. That's where we're going to start working, but it's going to be the center part of the back of the head. So I just wanted to give you some references. If you guys are on your phone, screenshot this. If you want me to send something like this out, type a yes in the chat box. I'll do that for you if you need it. So let's talk about the types of point cutting. I kind of touched on them earlier. Make sure I'm not going too fast. Let me know you guys are understanding this. Type a heck yes in the chat box. I know we hit real book work today. I ain't clowning. We're doing book work. It's going down. We got point cutting. I'm telling you guys, if you add this to your cuts this week, I'm adding coins to your pocket. I promise you. Everybody got it? Let me see some motion in the chat box. I'm about to cut my hair. I think this is still long. Have a yes in the chat box. Okay, guys. So we're gonna get into the 4 types of point cutting. So you can use your fingers. Like I said, you normally do fingers with like curly hair, and that's basically, let me get the mannequin. Ooh, she's resistant. So if you had a mannequin and you took the bottom of the hair, and then, let me get these scissors. Let's see. I know my little setup, it's getting better. We're working on it. So say you had your fingers on some curly hair, and then you just went in and you point cut the hair. That's point cutting. Point cutting is basically, it's kind of like you're notching the hair. Does that make sense, guys? And I'll show you on the model when we get started. But that's like using your fingers, and you're just kind of going through the hair, and then you're just point cutting. So also, you can use a comb. And what'll happen is on long hair, a lot of times, like say someone is really tall and they stand up, and then you take the hair and you just hold it down, but you use your comb to hold the hair down, and then you point cut. So let me move this out the way and bring in, this is Cheryl. It's not just Cheryl. Everybody say, hey, Cheryl. So this is Cheryl. Cheryl is like getting her life right now with the curls. We're gonna have to cut her. But taking your fingers, as I was saying earlier, and point cutting is just point cutting that way. You're going to the tips and you just point cutting, right? And you're just using your fingers throughout the whole style, and you just point cutting. I don't know what's going on with this internet kind of thing today. I'm gonna get tech support. No, I mean for the next class, I'm just not gonna deal with this. Remember I told y'all, do your job. This ain't my job. I'm not good at this. I'm firing somebody. So anyway, using your fingers is one way, just using your fingers and freestyling and point cutting. I do that a lot on curly hair. Now, if you want to use a comb, I can take the comb and run it down the hair. So like I said, a tall person, a lot of times you can use your comb and then go through and point cut the tips. And the thing about point cutting is, you see how I'm going in, pulling away. I'm cutting, pulling away, cutting, pulling away. That's what point cutting is. Now, there are several ways you can point cut, which I'm going to touch on in a second. But that's the motion. Okay? So, using your fingers, using the comb, and then there's the types of point cutting. So, on a let's use a shorter hair mannequin. On a shorter hair mannequin, let me let it down some. On a shorter hair mannequin, point cutting looks like, so you can see. There we go. You pick up the hair, and instead of doing a blunt cut, which is just boom, cutting that hair off, that's what most people do. We take a little section, we take our little stuff, and we just boom, cut it. We divide it in half, we pick up the next section, we oven it, we boom, cut it. And it's just one, everything is flat. That's not the modern way to do it. You want to take your section, and then you want to actually, can you zoom in for me? Hold on one second, y'all. Let me get rid of this. Get a little zoom action. Move it over to the side. Perfect. Okay, so point cutting is going in. Now you can shallow point cut, which shallow is it's kind of obvious. It's just not going into the interior part of the hair. So you're staying on the exterior. You see the motion, guys? I'm not doing a blunt cut. I'm literally just staying on the tips, which is the shallow part of the hair, and I'm cutting. And I'm not trying to be organized. Like, you want to have a guideline, so wherever you want the shortest piece to be, you wouldn't point cut past that, but you still want to make jagged lines, but even jagged lines, if that makes sense. So you're not going to have one line sticking way out here and then one going way in there. That's not cool. You want to have even jagged lines. Like, you can see that that's not organized, but it's still even. You know, everything still comes right there. Everybody, I'm going to stop right now and just let me know that you understand. If I'm losing you, I'm asking questions before we go to the next part. So that's shallow point cutting in the chat box. Hit understand, got it. So this is I'm telling you guys, I look at the haircuts that I get tagged on. They're too boxy. So I just want you, and I'm telling you, and you know, with love and from a good place, clients are looking for Halle, Tony, that kind of stuff. And with that being said, they don't have no box cuts. So all that shade, really stuff up here, and then everything's really row by row organized. We got to break it up, disrupt it. And I know it's like, it totally goes against what I didn't never really learn that, but what, you know, the throwback way is, but you want texture. And the only way you're going to get texture is by point cutting and by box cutting, I'm saying box cutting, by point cutting and doing different techniques, slide cutting and stuff like that, which we'll get into that in the next class. But I want to make sure that the point cutting, that you're understanding. Okay, you guys are getting it. So I just showed you shallow point cutting. Shallow, and then you have, one second. So shallow is just going to be on the tips, and then you have deep point cutting. And it's very, you know, it's self-explanatory. You're basically going to go deep into the interior part of the haircut. Interior is all up in there. Exterior is going to be on the outside, which are going to be the ends. So you want to go deep, pull away. And when I say that pull away part is important, because when I first learned this with Matrix, I was like, I keep cutting myself. Oh my God, I was so cut up all the time. And so I was cut up because I wasn't pulling away. So when you cut, I need to get, this one's too short, so her hair ain't wet. It's like, don't have a section, so it's keep getting in the way. But when you cut, you don't want to just literally go deep into the hair and then cut and stay right there. You want to cut, pull away. Cut, pull away. Good morning, Lakeisha. Good morning, Karen. So again, deep point cutting, my takeaway that saved my knuckles, that I want to save your knuckles, is when you cut, pull away. I hope that makes sense. And don't think you're not getting it, because you will get the hair, but you want to pull away and not just stay in one spot, because you will slice up them knuckles. So I named 4 things. Who can name out? Give me one. I'll give you one. So we talked about finger point cutting. What was the second technique that we used? I hate the delay, because then I just got to wait and just wait for it. We talked about actually 5 things. We said 1, 2, 3, 4. No, that's 4. 4 types of point cutting. I need some interaction in the chat box. I did finger. Somebody name out another one. You probably should put something on the carpet. Yeah, that would have been smart. It's such a delay. We're going to get ready and do your haircut. Let's share this slide back in the middle. There we go. Shallow, comb. So that's 3. We need one more. What's the last one we just did? Boom, you guys are on it. All right, so we did deep, comb, shallow, and let's see, did you guys say it? Comb, deep, shallow. I said finger, so I guess we said them all. Yep, we said them all. Yay. All right, so this is Michelle. Let's fix the camera. Let's fix the camera. So she has a basic mold, guys. I love this color. I'm so sad to see it go. Okay. Of course. Yes. What are they fixing? So I'm just breaking up the mold. Her hair is really soft. So remember we talked about a horseshoe section. I'm going to start with that. I typically, most pixie styles, most people are really scared to cut their hair all the way off. So they want like a variation of something that's popular. But typically, it's going to be a horseshoe section to start off with. And that's going from the crown of the head, remember, to basically the top of the temporal region, all the way to the crown, back around to the top temporal. Think 3/4 of an eyebrow. Okay? So I'm going to section that off. Now, I typically don't use a lot of clips. It's up to you if you want to use clips. I try not to do a lot of clips because it's too much. My nerves get bad. But I'm just pushing it over towards the front and sectioning, is that a word? Sectioning. That don't feel right. Anyway, I'm going to section off that part of the hair. Okay, and then we're going to rotate a little bit so you guys can see. So here's my favorite part about haircuts. I don't leave, and this is where it gets boxy. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm hitting your head. So this is where it gets boxy. So this is where this computer is doing something so weird. It's just so cuckoo. I want this to go away. I don't know what that is. Hold on, y'all. I need a tech person. What the hell? What is this? X. There we go. Look at God. He is good, honey. Oh, yes. Okay. So this is where it gets boxy, guys. This is an important class. Like, I'm being all like teacher mode today because this is important. Because this is a game changer in your haircut. Now, if you notice, most people, I know most of you guys take a horseshoe section. We already know about this, right? But here's where the problem happens. You cut the hair, everything is all organized and boxy all the way to there. And then we just have this little thing, toupee-ish, and we shave up this. And it's just, it's not cute. Like, it's just, I'm telling you, I promise you, clients, they're just, every day, every week when I get new people, they're like, oh, now I get it. This is, and all I do, I've been doing the same thing forever. And I'm not saying do like I do and that's the only way. I'm saying what I'm doing is working. So do that and then add something else to it. What you do is, so now that you're taking your horseshoe section, I want you to go back down to that occipital bone. Remember our chart. That's going to be the part of the head that's right before the nape. So I want you to go back, section that out. And this is where you use clips because typically you've molded the hair in a different direction, so the hair starts to do something weird, which is fall back in the direction that you molded it. So take a little section, make that horseshoe deeper. And it does not have to be a perfect line. I like imperfect lines just because that disconnection adds to the disruption. We want to be disruptive. We don't want no organized stuff. That's old school. Get out your comfort zone and break up these haircuts. So did you see? I took that horseshoe kind of back into a Mohican. Not really a Mohican section. It's like a faux hawk, basically. Think faux hawk. Okay? So I'm just going to make sure I got the right little, I'm on the temporal line. And I'm looking at her hair. She doesn't have any like wild growth patterns or anything. Her nape area is interesting. So I'm talking about interesting. People always laugh at my words. I don't be trying to be funny when I say that. I mean, it is different. So you have to, I'll keep that in account. But she's one of the clients, like someone just asked, who doesn't like hair back there. So we'll talk on that in a second. All right. So now that we've sectioned off this area, I wish I had a hair chair. Hold your head down for me. Slide up just a little bit in this chair. Like slide the chair. Good. Perfect. Okay. So, thank you. Yeah, it's God. So, hold your head down. So, I'm going to just show you, and this is very basic, guys. If you get this, let me tell you something. You ain't got to learn another haircut for a while if you master point cutting. I promise you, because the thing about point cutting is it's so forgiving and it's so edgy and textured. And when it grows out, it's just so nice. So you don't have to, I mean, you could just do that. You can do all kinds of haircuts and point cut the ends. What about people with fine hair? So fine hair, you wouldn't point cut so much around like your edges. I'll explain that when we get to the end. But fine hair, there is a difference. When you blunt cut fine hair, it looks fuller. But what I do on fine hair, because they still want to be jazzy, even though the hair is fine, you still go into this part of the hair, this part of the head, and you point cut. I'll do a blunt cut on the fine hair just to get the shape. And then you go in and you texturize by point cutting, by slide cutting, by notching. So just adding texture after you've done the blunt cut. But I still use the same lines and so that it's not boxy, because just because their hair is fine don't mean they don't want to be fly. So, you know, keep that into mind. Fine hair wants to have fun too. So don't put them in a box and give them that 90s dude just because they, you know, they're a little less fortunate than others. All right. So that's a good question, Allison. So I've taken the center, a center section. It's just a vertical section. And I'm going to, just like we learned in beauty school, and people, don't underestimate the 90-degree cut. It's amazing. And the thing about hair cutting is that when you understand where hair will fall as you cut, that's when you understand hair. Like I can literally, I don't even have to section hair anymore because I understand the hair and how it falls on the head shape. So I encourage you to get disruptive and just start cutting and understanding, using elevation and understanding where it is in the head. If I cut this going straight out, as it lays down, how is it going to change? Do yourself a favor, get a mannequin head. If you cut something going this way, it still has to go down. So as it goes down, you start to see the layers change, right? So I look at stuff like that, and it's so important. It's the basics that you learned in school, but they're so incredibly important. So I took a thin section, about ½ inch, the center of the head, vertical. I'm going to point cut. Now, at the back of the head, I don't like to go into the, what is this? So this is the nape area. Basically, the outer lining of the hair. So that is going to include that, her sideburns. That's going to include like that area. That's going to, like, I don't like to be so dramatic because I come back to that. After I get the bases of my haircut done, I come back to the lining of the hair because that's where you get into customizing the hair, okay? So when I'm here in the nape area, what I do is elevate. Somebody tell me why would I do that? Anytime you go in the opposite direction, what happens? Somebody tell me in the chat box. I'll wait because it's a delay. What? Oh. Oh, I see. I'm having trouble. Is Anitris in the room? Let's see, Anitris Henderson. Let's take a moment to answer these technical difficulty questions. Anitris Henderson. Alicia Arnold just signed up. Let's email her. Let me send her the login. Perfect, Melanie Longer Nate. Thank you, Melanie, for answering that. She got it. Let's see, let me give this to Alicia. Read her email, Alicia Arnold. Is it? What?
02, right?
Oh, yeah. At Gmail. Okay, let's invite her to class. Alicia Arnold 02. Is that right? So, it will give you some graduation look. So, what'll happen is, turn around forward. So, when you hold this up, when you come back down, these longer hairs are going to push that nape area down. So, if you ever have clients that say, why is it sticking up like that, right? If I just blunt cut it all to 90, there's not going to be any longer hairs to push the shorter hairs down. So it gives it a wispy look. And I'm not really going for, I am going for graduation, but I don't want to say graduation because some people get that in their mind and start thinking about bobs and all that stuff. And it'll just be a mess. So it's just so that if the longer hairs on top push the shorter hairs down, which helps with that hair sticking up at the nape area. So I'm going to elevate that. Watch how I go in and cut. I'm doing shallow point cutting right now. I'm on the exterior. I'm not in the interior. Okay? So now that I've gotten past the middle, kind of the occipital bone, I'm going to bring it back down to normal. You guys see my line there? You see how it's jagged, it's not straight. I'm going to go ahead and clean up that whole section. Okay? And I see a little piece. And I'm just doing that to the tips of the hair. All right? So I'm going to bring that back down. Hold your head up for me. I'm going to bring that back down. And it just lays. So I'm going to go ahead and work my way to my left. Let me tell you guys, I'm working my way to my left because I have a jacked up left side on most haircuts. You got to understand your strengths. I know that I'm stronger on my right side, so I'm going to go to my left because let me tell you why. Once I cut to my left and I go to my right's going to match my left. Versus if I go to my right, my left ain't going to match. So understand your weaker side and go to that first because your stronger side can match your weaker side. And I hope you guys, that's something that when I learned, I'm like, oh my gosh, yay. Because I was like, why does my left side always just give me hell? So I'm going to take another half-inch section. To the left of the head, it's vertical. My brain, the way my brain works, I want to show so many different tricks at one time. I got to take it slow because I know it's just too much. So because it's a trick my mentor showed me, but we'll get to that later, about cutting on a diagonal. It's just so freaking cool. But I'll show you that. Let's get a glass. We're going to do the basics right now. So I'm going to take a little bit of my middle section that I just did. And you guys understand, you just follow your guidelines. And if your section is too thick, take some hair. I see the shorter piece. I raise it up. I'm just blunt point cutting. I said blunt, I meant to say point. And just match it up. And it's a traveling guideline, right? And make sure it's in front of you. As you move, the hair moves. Just like that. When I move, you move. Just kidding. Not really. So I'm just going to follow this all the way over. And I'm not doing so much. I'm not really focusing on this area because I want to change that at the end so that it's custom to fit her head shape. I see the shorter piece. I'm going in. Pick up that longer piece. I see the line that's the last man standing. I'm going to just point cut. And have fun with it. Like, Don't point cut in a blunt manner, because I know some people so organized that they'll do that. They'll be point cutting, but it'll still all be organized. Yes, my problem. It give you more. Oh, I don't know. Okay. So I'm just going to the left. Oh, you're probably commenting on, I'm looking for my guideline. I can't see it, so I'm gonna pull some of that hair out. There we go. And I'll pick it back up. And I'm standing improperly just for the sake of the class so you can see. Raising that up. Okay. I'm just gonna keep going all the way around. All the way around the head. And the elevation was more so for the back nape area. Once you get to the sides, it's pretty smooth sailing. Now you know you gotta watch the top of the ear because you can create holes if you don't over direct the hair up the way we did in the nape area. Leave a little extra hair so that you can cover. The ear kind of pushes the hair in different directions. So I'm just gonna keep going. And you guys, this takes practice. And I just wanted to tell you about this technique and to break up the whole like box cutting stuff, because that's very 90s. You're looking at your styles and you're wondering why they don't look like, you know, all the stuff you see on the Cut Life and Like the River and Voice of Hair, because you have to add some texture. And you basically are doing a 90-degree haircut, but you are point cutting. And play with the different types of point cutting. You can play with the different types. You can deep point cut. Deep point cutting this would have gave it a different look. I want a very pixie feel with her. So we're over the side of the ear. So instead of just cutting this way, I'm gonna over direct it a little bit. Why? Because remember, the ear pushes the hair in the way, does different stuff. So I'm just gonna, and I'm gonna go a little deeper on my point cut so that it's forgiving right there. And I like that there's hair left over behind her ear, because I can go and texturize that later. That's the thing, when you're cutting, don't try to be so organized to where you're getting everything and then later on you can't customize the cut because you got too excited and you want to be so military about that haircut. Because the thing about these cute pixies that are everywhere is they need to have texture so that when they lay, and those people, your client don't have time to get a haircut, they don't have to. Okay? So, I've cut the left side of her head. I like the way it feels. I love the texture. I want this to be very pixie. And the point of this cut, I want it to be pixie, and I actually want her to have like cool sides, like a little bit longer sides, so that it's just very just feminine, catty, pixie, just girly, just cute. So you guys know about cross-checking, right? And if you don't, I'm gonna tell you. So what they say, want to hear? Here you go. So now that I've cut the hair going to the left side of her head, I'm gonna take the same guideline from the center and I'm gonna take it all the way around again. And remember, we're not cutting this part of the hair. Same thing on this side. I did not cut that part of her hair. I want to leave that there, and I'm gonna go back and play with that. That's that fun part, y'all. Let me tell you, I love cutting hair. It's my favorite thing to do above all else. That's why I decided just to do short hair, because hey, at least I know I was gonna be cutting somebody. Long hair people be like, girl, I'm trying to keep my hair. Like, no, lose it, bye. So I'm going to start from the center and just go all the way around. You guys, let me know if this is helping you. Let me know you can see okay. How do you feel about what we just did so far on the left side? Does anybody have a weak left side like me? I don't know what that is. I rebuke it in the name of Jesus. It's called just facts, body. So, y'all need some cutting crunk music. Let me put on some cutting crunk music. Last time YouTube flagged me, but I don't know why it was public. It's probably public now. So everybody just, but I'll make it private at the end. All right, so hold your head down. Eyes on you. So as I hold this up, I can see my longer pieces. I'm just gonna go in and point cut it all the way to the top. Take a small section to the right. Oh, just hold on, going home. I see my shorter pieces. Gonna push it up. Take my time. Bring in the longer piece. And bring it back down. Take another section. Gonna pick it up. Elevate to the top. I see my shorter pieces. You should be able to see your shorter pieces through that hair. If you can't see it, just take some of the hair out. We just want a jagged hairline. And you can have fun with it. You can be jagged all the way, deep, shallow. I like choppiness. Baby. So, I'm just gonna follow this around. I can see my shorter pieces. I'm gonna comb that back down. I'm gonna go here. Remember, we're in the ear area. I see the shorter pieces. And sometimes people use like thinning shears to try to get that jagged look or try to break up those lines. And it's not wrong or right. But what happens, using the thinning shears, for one, you're thinning out the hair. So they already have, she has a lot of hair, but it's still fine. So she has a lot of density, which is hair per square footage, but her texture is fine. So if I go through with thinning shears, if you guys don't know what thinning shears are, let me show you. I thought I had them up here, maybe not. I don't know where they are. But it's the shears that look like a comb, right? If I go through and thin shear her whole head, it's gonna thin her hair out even more. So you gotta know when to use the tools. And to get the look that a thinning shear gives you, just point cut. So I'm gonna take another section here. I see my line. And I can see my line, let's see. I see my shorter pieces. They're right. Let's see, I'm trying to see if I can show you guys on camera. Okay, I can't, but I see them. So all I'm doing is just blending them in. Go this way so you guys can see. Oh, there you go. See the heavy line right there? You see that where the line gets really heavy, like right there? That's my guideline. So I'm gonna go in and I'm just gonna point cut. And this is really important because I'm telling you, I'm looking at these hairstyles, they too boxy. You gotta break it up. If you wanna look like Razor Chick, Naja, all of them, they're doing point cuts, they're doing razor cuts, they're doing texture. And that's just what works. If you wonder how you get that look, that's how. By breaking it up and point cutting. So I told you I want this area to be really long. So now I'm gonna deep point cut and just add some texture up in there. And I'm gonna come back to that. So we've basically done the whole back and sides of her hair. I'm gonna go through and just pull this hair back, the hair that's from the temporal front. I just pulled it back and blended it in. And the reason I pulled it back is because it's gonna leave it long in the front. So she still has long sideburns. I'm a sideburn whore, I love it. I think it's so feminine. So now we're gonna let this down. And I'm gonna take basically that the parietal ridge area. You got the parietal bone, and then you got the parietal ridge. So I'm gonna go in the bone area. Hold your head down for me, to the floor, there we go. A little bit more, I know, then so let's see. So this is the horseshoe section. And then I took that section, and it's basically a triangle. Turn around, hold your head up. To the back. You guys see that? So I'm gonna work with this section right now. Okay, hold your head down for me. So what I do, I like it to be funky. Hey. So I'm gonna grab a little bit and I'm just blending it into the back that we just cut. So out of that triangle, I just grabbed a section and I picked up the center section of the hair. And you guys see that disconnect, right? I'm gonna actually over direct backwards just a little bit. And I'm going to blend that in. Okay? And what's gonna happen is you're gonna have a little funky middle section. It's kind of like how you do bobs when you cut the back and then you go back in and you bring everything back to the traveling point. And back here, when I cut this section, I want it to be a little bit disconnected because that just gives texture. So now that I've cut those pieces, I literally can see where they are, and I'm just gonna cut straight across. It's a little twisted, and I like that. My hand's a little twisted. It's not straight. See how I'm holding that? This is where you want to get disrupted. Don't be nervous. Don't be thinking organized. You guys know how it is when you take a haircut and you push everything in a ponytail and then you cut. You get a bob, right? Kind of the same concept. And then you just blend it in. I want that to be disrupted. And I'm going to deep point cut so that it just looks like texture. There we go. Again, deep point cutting. And see, there's different angles of point cutting. You can point straight ahead. You can point at a 90, You can point at elevation, a 90 going that way, 45, I'm sorry. And basically all that point cutting, you just can blend it all out. It's just funky. So you see that profile already coming together? See how funky that is already? And then we're gonna just build up into that part of the head. This is what I see on the pictures. It's all bump and roll and just, there's no volume here. And remember, we talked about profiling the hair. So now that I've created some guidelines in that parietal area, I can keep going. I can just make this as funky as I want. And point cutting is so fun. When you understand how hair falls on the head, you really can have some fun, guys, I'm telling you. And it's my favorite when somebody come in with a box cut and then I just point cut the hair, they be like, oh God. Because they just like, that's what it is. It's too boxy, too shapy. Think about when a box cut grows out, it look like a box. Everything all organized and it's just like you ain't had a haircut in a long time. It's just a mess. So now that I've got that little triangle section organized, I've went through and I've cut it. I see a little area there. I'll cut that. So now that I have that, it's kind of gonna give me a little faux hawk, little section. I'm gonna go through and part this in the middle. Okay? Girl, you good, girl. Giving me T-bars. Yes. So, right. So, I parted down the middle. And this is pretty, like I said, this is very basic. But that's the thing. People try to do, I mean, basics is great. It's what's working. So, I'm going to go down the middle of her head. So, guess what it is. So, I'm going to take, okay, now. So remember, the top of the head, right below, we had that triangle. So I'm going to still connect that section. And I'm going to lean it back a little bit because I still want it kind of longer in the front. I feel you. So I'm going to go in and I'm just cutting. And the whole point of this class, no pun intended, is to point cut. Like just point cut the entire haircut. You not saying don't ever blunt cut again. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is point cutting is what gives you texture. It just makes things just be so edgy. Bye-bye color, your hair color's gone. You just did this color. I will. Okay. I'm leaning it back. Follow my guideline. And I'm deep point cutting because I want this to be very textured. And I'm leaning it back also because I like that faux hawk feel. I can always go shorter, but I want to start with the faux hawk. Anybody have any questions as I'm cutting? I don't want to lose anybody. Get to me. Dancing. Okay, so I'm gonna take another section right next to it. This is the easy part. Because at the top, to me, I don't like to be so organized because that's the fun part. So I just point cut and notch cut and just work it out. But I hope you guys understand with point cutting, you can do so much more. See that? Make sure you're going into the hair. Oops, sorry, y'all.
This is what I need to know.
Who's in there?
Latanya.
Hey, Latanya, girl. So I'm just literally taking lines. The client is missing her color. We'll do some more. And remember, I'm taking everything back to the middle of the head. Not dramatically back, but I'm taking it back. And then I'm just bringing the front to the back. Got you working. Playing the ratchets. Practicing, can tell it's you. All the time I gotta practice. They were practice. Yeah, for me. I'll make a Drake female version. I'm just gonna start singing it. Boy, you look good once you're back. Hey, we can sing like that too, Drake. When you, hey, I'm gonna make this couple ratchet. Okay, y'all. I'm still point cutting. You see the lines? I'm just pointing, just going inside, making a point. Have fun with it. Break it up. Work it out. Okay? Another reason that I'm bringing it back is because I want to keep her bangs so that I can play with those when we get done. Okay? So I'm still working my way all the way around that horseshoe section. I'm just following that guideline that I made in the middle. And I'm working out my horseshoe section. And the front, have fun with it. You can bring it back to that middle section in different directions. So you can take a straight line, vertical, and then over direct it back. Or because you have this guideline, Lord Jesus, because you have this guideline, you can take a diagonal line. I like working on diagonals. And so because I have that guideline in the back, I still take it to the back, and I'm just going to point cut. Deep point cutting, guys. It all works. Will the cut offer a variety of different? Yep, it sure will. It's the same cut that everybody doing with these boxes. But the problem is it's so blunt, it looks the same in every different style because it's too blunt. So because we're point cutting, it's going to give you more softer lines, which are forgiving. And here's the thing about styles. That's your call. You know what I'm saying? Like the only time a haircut won't give you a different style is if you do something that is like very dramatic, like the what's the girl, Megan Good. You know what I mean? Like Megan Good's haircut when she had it, it was all short on one side. So now I'm going to deep point cutting on a diagonal just to blend it in. So I'm picking up the whole section. I'm just kind of looking at it. I'm like, okay, I see some little pieces, nothing major, just little pieces that are a little longer. And what I'll do is I'll go through the haircut and do that a couple times. So we did that section. Now it's just time to start back at the center. And then we're going to do the next part of the hair. Start from the bottom, then move to. So I'm going to start back at the center. Girl, the hairstyle is cute, girl, that part down the middle. So I'm going to go in and I'm just going to deep point cut. Taking everything back to the middle, top point of the head. I'm gonna take a section down the middle. Okay. It's kind of already was cut from the other section, just checking the ends. And it's just basically following the guidelines, guys. Make your section. What's that noise? Oh, she rolls because. Okay. I'm like, is it an earthquake? You can throw it up in a second. I'm just cutting. I see some longer pieces. I'm just gonna take those off. Start from the bottom there. And I'm just following the guidelines, guys. Okay. Will this cut offer? Okay, we already answered that. Yeah, so the styles, like I said, the styles depend on you. Some people may want a cut that's pixie and they want spikes, they want curls, they want waves. You still can get all of that. Every cut length offers a different variation of the style. And even on this cut, you can do this cut on a longer version of this cut. So I'm going this short because that's what she wants, a little cute short pixie style. But I mean, this is still kind of the same cut she had. And we've had long bangs, we cut them off, we grow them out, we put some color on them. So the styles, that's where your stylist mode comes in, because you need to suggest things and let your clients suggest things and look at pictures and always look for inspiration. That's our job, to always look for something that we can add, you know. That we can add to personalize it. So as she gets this, I'm just gonna break that up with some point cutting, deeper. And remember, go in, pull out, go in, pull out. So I'm gonna take another section. And anytime, when I'm on this part of the head, I kind of pick up that whole, I don't know, I pick this section up. I take a little bit from here and a little bit from there and this, and I go in, still using my guideline at the back, but I go in on a diagonal and I deep point cut. And I knew where to start from the front because I can see in the back. I can tell where I was going. I just wanted to connect that line. And that just kind of helps me make sure that it doesn't look funny in different angles. It just blends that little area. Deep point cutting. Pulling it back to the front. Okay. So I left the bang area because I want to go through and I actually want to slide cut that. So I'm liking what I'm seeing. I'm just cutting, deep point cutting, going back through. Once you go back through, guys, you can pick this up and you can see any pieces that are just too long. And or if some pieces are just, it has too much weight in it. So I can actually see some little strings there. So I'm just gonna deep point cut. And that's what makes the cut like super jazzy. Like go through and break it up, disrupt, think disruption. Deep point cut. We want this to be really pixie, really cute. So I'm going through the same lines. I'm just gonna break that up. So the cut is 90. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much a 90-degree haircut, but remember those parts where we did elevation. So now that the basis is done, but yes, you like for literally take a 90-degree haircut and point cut it, deep point cut and shallow point cut, and you got you a fine, cute, classic cut, period. And it works on 80% of the people. So cutting is not your strength yet, or if you gotta break up your cutting and figure out some stuff, this is a way to do it. Can you give me the blow dryer? Where is it? So now that we've gotten some of the bases done, blow dryer. I'm gonna go through and I'm going to cross check. And as I cross-check, remember, if I cut, cross-checking, you just check the opposite direction that you cut. Since we cut this way, I'm going to cross-check this way. And what's going to happen is I'm going to see some lines that I may want to correct. So as I'm looking at this, as I'm looking at that, I could just go in. It really is okay, but I'm just going in a deep point cut just to make sure that it's okay. And I do that across the back first because remember, this is where our guidelines are. So what I'm looking for is just a nice, even and jagged, I'm even going the same sentence, but you're looking for just a nice, even, jagged situation. Okay? And that's, you see that line, guys? That's a perfect, that's what it needs to look like some grass. Think grass. My mentor always says blades of grass. That's how he looks at it. So I'm going to go across here, same thing. Just breaking it up just to make sure everything's okay. And you should go from longer to shorter because you're going the round of the head. So right there, I can tell that that's a little long. And it's basically blending it out. Blend it out across the top of the head. Be aware of the angle of the head. So don't hold it naturally to how the hair is going. So we know this is shorter. So we want to kind of bring it down a little bit and just get them tips. That way when we pick up this part, it makes sense. Oh, maybe I can see, there we go. There's a little long piece. Okay. I actually like that, so I'm gonna leave it alone. Okay? So then I'm just gonna take another section. I'm gonna bring it to the back, to the middle. I'm gonna check it out. And I'm just looking for stuff that's kind of like a little longer. It could be a little piecier. Bringing this up. You see that little piece? I'll go in and just break it up. And I really just like to break it up again in this direction so that it just really is just a funky cut. So look at that. I know that that's there because I left her bangs. I left her perimeter. So she's going to have some long pieces. Okay? So I'm not bringing it all the way back. I'm just kind of bringing it up right where it lives towards the front. Deep point cut. Missed the whole summer. So now I'm just point cutting. And just be aware of the hairline because sometimes you might need to hide something. So if you point cut the hell out the hairline and bring it back down, you're like, ooh, girl, expose your bald spot. So, you know, you got to be careful. And that's where I talked about earlier, reading the hair and understanding the hair. This is super cute. We're not even done yet. Because I just want to go through and make the ends really wispy, but it's very pixie. Okay? And so I'm going to go back to the back. So I see right here, this is a little longer than I wanted. I'm just going to cut up to the part that I like. And I'm going back down. I'm looking. I'm like, okay, this is great. So, you know, we cut going down. I just want to check by going up. As I go up, I like that side. As I go up, right here is a little long. I'm literally going to go in and point cut just a little bit. Just to break up. It was really just kind of weighty right there. I like it. I like it. I like it. I don't really see anything. I'm just checking my lines, guys. If you see a long piece, just point cut it. And we're using the comb like we talked about earlier. You could do a whole haircut with scissor over comb, point cutting. Instead of doing a blunt cut, you can do a point cut on the comb. Okay? So I'm liking what I'm seeing. Now, let me show you guys my little trick I love. I go through. Did I get kicked off? Oh, I don't know. Are you back, Valerie? That's the style right there. Beautiful Asia girl. You do look a little Asian.
Whatever. I'm black.
So what I'm going to do now, hold your head down, is I'm just going to go through the crown of the head, and I'm going to literally just pick the hair with the scissors. And what this is going to do is add texture and add shorter pieces within the haircut that are going to make the hair stand up. And this is what I do on all my pixies. And what happens is that allows the hair to stand up. Say she got to go somewhere and she ain't got time. Because I've done this little trick, it makes the hair stand up. As you can see, it's just standing up now because the shorter pieces are pushing the hair up. So you got to do stuff like this. I'm just adding shorter pieces. I'm not doing major cuts. I'm just adding shorter pieces within that crown of the head to help me with texture. Okay? Now, she's a client and she doesn't like hair on her neck. She ain't got time for it. Most clients, they be like, that's cute and all, but it doesn't fit my lifestyle. So her neckline, I would have liked to been longer like her sideburns. But, you know, such is life. So now let's talk about the sides. In a second. I don't know what she needs. So I like her size already. I'm just going to go in just a little bit and just kind of slide cut. Slide cut, I'm not closing my shears all the way. I'm just moving my thumb. Okay? And it's just a traveling motion. So I'm just going like this. Going like this. And I want it to be jagged. I want some longer pieces. Okay? And then on this area, I'm going to go up. I'm still point cutting. I do not want a harsh line right here. That's outdated. That's whack. Don't be barbering and shit. Unless that's the look that that person wants or that you're going for. We want soft, feminine lines. I'm going to go here and I'm just going to slide cut behind the ear. And that's just the little pieces that were longer from when we did the cut earlier. Okay? You guys see how I left that there? I don't want a lot. And you see, that's already a fine area. So I want to keep that full. All right? So we're going to go again on this area. Comb it forward. So turn this way. You got this. Look up, can't find. Okay. I'm just slide cutting. I just want that texture there. And on this area, just gonna go up. Still just kind of notching. Okay. And then over the ear, back of the ear, I'm just point, 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 point. I promise you, we be lining up and box cutting the back of folk heads. Even Usher did an article in the hair magazine. He was like, why do people get a man lineup? And I know some people gonna be like, well, I do. I mean, it's just what everybody's used to. But we're women. I don't need my neck lined up tight and right like that. You know, I get it cleaned up, but I don't like it like, and all these styles and stuff that we see, you know, we really try to get away from. We want a soft hairline. So now I'm looking at the front of her hair. Here comes that customization. So now I'm looking at the front of her hair. I'm like, okay, I like what's happening. I'm just gonna go in and slide cut just a few pieces. That's just gonna give her personalization. Pick little areas and go through and slide cut. So for somebody that asks about fine hair, she still has fine hair. We gotta make sure you remember, like, fine hair is not density. She has a lot of density, but her hair is fine. So even so, I gotta be careful with, you know, thinning it out and slide cutting. But it's visual. That's what I was saying earlier. Look at your client. By its cover. Super cute. And so then her back, she had a problem back, y'all. She got issues. So she don't like no hair back there. You see that little cowlick? So her hair likes to go. See how her hair easily went that way? That's where her hair likes to go. So that's why she don't like it. And that's what she just said. That's why. Thank you, Karen. Oh, Valerie got back on. Valerie, say what's up, girl. Did you get kicked off? She texted me? Oh. Hold on, y'all. Let's make sure everybody getting. I think I got kicked off. Log back on through the link. I don't know why. So, okay. So you guys, this is a great example. Look at that. Her hair be like, we don't want to go that way. So she has, that's why she doesn't like any hair there, because that hair that is long, it sticks up. So when the hair wants to go that way, when you cut, lean it back this way and over direct it so that when it lays back down, it's going to have a little bit more hair and then it'll lay down. And then what'll happen is that over direction up also covers. But if there's a particular area, it was kind of already done because this is my regular client. Valerie's back. Everybody say, hey, Valerie.
Hey, Valerie.
She said, yes, child, I'm back. Valerie, where you from? To my child. So you see how I'm leaning this hair is going that way naturally. When you cut it, lean it the opposite direction so that you have more leeway and room, okay? So that it'll lay down. So we're gonna go ahead. Her neckline, I mean, there's really nothing to it because this is she already had, like, it was already done. So I kind of cheated a little bit. So there's nothing to do there. But typically I would go in and like point cut the hairline and just go in and just kind of point cut it. I hate things that look so organized. Thank you. Or sometimes I would go in with my razor and just, y'all see that? Just go in and just razor the bottom. And the razor in the bottom will give it also another, you know, lay it down, but give it some, a soft textured look. Okay, guys? Oh, she said Dallas. Okay, girl, you from where? All right, girl. Yeah, plug it my bed. So, our haircut is cute. I'm gonna go in. Oh, first of all, I need to blow dry. How about that? First, I'm gonna blow dry her off. Blow dry the hair. I'm gonna keep her model a pick towel. All right, guys. I'm done with this haircut. Let's take some questions. I'm going in with some Influence curling wax. I love this stuff. It reminds me of like Dudley's. You wipe your face. And let's get a. I should take a before over here. Shoot, I would think. She got hair everywhere. So as you can see,
before.
you see we have so much texture in this hair. Do a video. This is cuckoo. Like, ooh, that girl haircut is dope. So you see that profile. We want to have action up in here. Gotta trust that. Y'all see that? Any questions? I think everybody like, okay, straight. So this is super cute, super pixie. She really could rock that. If she got to go, she really could go. Gotta go right now. Y'all remember that Trey song? I'll be back before I know it. Very cute. So this is the cut before we curl. Any questions, guys, before we move on? That's cute. I'm next. Okay. I'm waiting for the delay. Let's have some Q&A. Can you do that for me?
And put a little bit of agave in it.
Mm-hmm. Gonna be on today. I'm walking in front of the camera. Whoops, my bad, y'all. I'm trying to plug up this I don't know why you had it plugged up earlier. I was focused. Okay. Right there. Are you going to go this one? But I'm going to curl. This is just ghetto. Oh yeah.
You still got a little color.
Thank you. You still got a little color.
So no questions on this haircut. We about to move on. That's cute, girl.
It is cute. Would you ever leave her just like this?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
That's how my hair is.
Look, I already answered. Yes.
That's how I do my hair.
How long should it take?
Huh?
How long should this cut take?
No more than 20 minutes.
No more than 20 minutes
Is what I try to go for.
is what she tries to go for.
No, 30 minutes at the max.
30 minutes.
Like, this is a quick, easy, a haircut should take 30 minutes at the max. I mean, 20 minutes is extreme, but once you get it down, you're gonna be moving fast. But this right here, I whip, she knows this is a regular painting. She paid me about a month, y'all. I'm telling you about the month. You gotta get some of them in your life. Like, she know, I mean, you can talk about your experience at haircuts. I mean,
I'm in and out in that 2 hours.
yeah.
But that's with chemical and everything.
With us BSing. We be BSing. Sometimes it can be faster. We be talking, you know, we how we do.
I just come and sit and chill.
Right. I want to get some of my clients out of always needing Heat. Oh, for sure. Like if she had to go somewhere, this is what you do. You tell them mold and go. And then you have to teach them about your products because she needs to know what product can make her hair stand up and do things. Now the hair is standing up and stuff because of the haircut. But, you know, in general, it's also a product. Like for me, my hair, I'm telling y'all, like I don't even have time to curl my hair. I can make time, but I don't want to. So, you know, for me, I have to have the right haircut. And point cutting, texture cutting in general is everything. So slide cutting, point cutting, notching, scissor over comb, you know, there's just so much. So this is the
I don't use a lot of heat because I burn my hair, so.
right. And you don't want clients, you want them to really love their haircut and to learn how to mold their hair because you got clients going to the gym, they got meetings, they just got stuff to do. So many stylists be like, I ain't gonna tell my client what I'm doing. You stupid. If you empower them, they're gonna keep coming to you because let me tell you, real women ain't got time to do their hair. That's on their GOB, you know what I'm saying? So they need to know the basics, but they're gonna come back to you for everything else. So I'm getting ready to see how their hairline is jagged. I'm gonna go ahead and just throw some curls in this. How should I curl it, y'all?
Yeah, some more questions. Price.
Oh, there's more questions. Okay. How much should be charged? A basic cut and style for me is $90. So you can always go up. You got, like I said, I know people that charge, you know, 100. And I think that's right. I start at 90, and then if it's some ridiculousness, you know, then I tack on my fee. I'm eating, y'all. Oatmeal. Let's see the next question. Did she have a relaxer? So, anytime, yeah, see. Anytime, this ain't gonna work. Can you get that? Can you get where that table? Yeah. So let's answer the question. So anytime, okay, scoot over.
I was gonna say, do I need to scoot over?
So anytime you're getting ready to cut the hair, you want to have smooth and clean, like space. You don't want this to be all crinkly and crunchy and nappy and all that stuff. So say she needed a relaxer before she came in. What I do is cut the shape. So I do like a 90-degree all over, and I make sure I leave out my perimeters. I leave out the important parts. I don't even touch them because I want to make sure that, because that's custom. So you want to do that when the hair is smooth. Or sometimes if they don't need a relaxer, but they have a lot of hair, I'll shampoo it and cut the general shape, that horseshoe shape and all that. I'll cut it takes me like 10 minutes, not even that, to just cut the shape in place so that I can get a good clean mold. And then I'll mold them down, and then I go through and I cut the hair after it's molded. If somebody wants to go shorter and say they're not at a 6-week relaxer time frame, but they want to go shorter here, you need to do your relaxer first. Go ahead and do the spot if they want to go short in those areas, because if not, you're going to cut it to new growth and then it's going to be nappy. So explain to them, okay, you want to go shorter today. It's not quite time for a full relaxer, but you will need a partial relaxer. And so, you know, let them know that's what you got to do. If not, they're going to have crunchy looking hair. And you cutting hair that is crinkly and, you know, not smooth means your lines, these are lines. It means your lines are going to be jacked up. So because it wasn't even, it wasn't straight enough. So you want to definitely be careful and approach the hair in its smoothest form on our texture for sure. Y'all say do a funky style, flat with funky middle. Okay. When did she have it? Now she had a relaxer this weekend. So this is definitely a fresh relaxer. What approach would you take when going from long to short from this cut? So let me get Shirley. What was her name? I forgot her. Shirley. Everybody say, hey, Shirley. So Shirley, if this was, I have this come in the salon all the time. I basically do the same thing. I section. I would take a horseshoe section. Let me hold it up a little bit. She gonna move the camera. So I would still take a horseshoe. Oh, that's beautiful. I still would take a horseshoe section. Let me just get it out the way. You guys understand. We just went over this. I still would section off her horseshoe, and I would go through the hair, and I would go through and cut all of this. I can do a cut on this mannequin for you guys so you guys can see. This is an expensive mannequin, so I was trying to save it for my little long hairstyles. But whatever, my mentor gave me this mannequin. Hi, Nicholas' friend. She's so amazing. So I would still go through but what I would do is cut it long, because depending on how short or long they want to go. So if she wanted to go her length, I would cut, you know, let me get another clip.
No.
Oh. Let's see, so. A relaxer class, okay. So I still would section her off. I would section out my parietal areas. And then I would take this area and just take it off. Now, depending on how short they want to go, because I do understand that everybody ain't wearing a pixie. So say she want to have like a funky, edgy bob or whatever. I still would take this section, actually would take all of that, and then just cut it off. And then take some of this, cut a little bit to blend it into the back, how we took this section and matched it with this section. I would just do the basis, but I wouldn't go in and super point cut or any of that. But I would horseshoe section, take out these. I would take off this section to the desired length that'll just get me through the mold, basically. Enough so that I can get a smooth mold so that when I go through and do the cut, it's smooth. And I hope that makes sense. Let me know if that makes sense. So you guys said relaxer class, okay. Sounds like a plan. She over there throwing Shirley around. Okay, funky style. What approach? Okay, we answered that. How much should be charged? I charge, like I said, 90 and up. I want to get some of my clients out of always needing heat. You need to show them this. And the way I get my clients out of needing heat, I rock it. I haven't curled my hair. I just let them know, like, yo, you can do it too. It's great. Look at my haircut. I just go through and I razor cut the heck out of it. So if I need to do something, it's there. But if I don't, because I think I'm like, the other, got some good hair and I don't. Basically. But I just use my haircut. So it's very important to educate the client on the proper haircut. Let's see how much. Let me make sure I answered all the questions. How long should it take? So give yourself time though. Like, 30 minutes is an additional time frame for your haircut, and then you need to give yourself time to style. So carve out time to haircut and then carve out time to style. So I know it's gonna take me 10, 15 minutes to curl a hair. It takes me, block out 30 minutes for the haircut, and the rest. Know your timing so that you can plan accordingly. Okay, perfect. Okay, so cool. All right, so. Yep. So I'm glad you guys are understanding and you get it. So I'm just going to curl now. This little hair over her ear against the knife tip for me. I'm just going to take a little bit of that off. Never loved us. Oh, sorry. I just be yelling out stuff like I got Tourette's. Oh, also we need to check for sideburns. So I always check sideburns. I look and see where the longest part is at the bottom of her ear. I come on this side. I didn't do that earlier. It's at the bottom of her ear. Now that one's a little thicker, so I'm going to go ahead and just take out a little bitty of the little part of the tip. So the way you measure sideburns is where does it stop? Check both sides. That's how you get them even. As long as they stop on the same place. Put your legs. I'm going to spray some influence, spritz on the hair, comb it through. We'll start at the crown of the head. I don't know what we got these cords doing today. So I'm just going to go through and curl. Remember we talked about before in the last class. Oh, yeah. You guys see what I'm doing? Take a section back. We'll take a section straight up. We'll take a section back. Don't think about it, just do it. Just curl. Have fun with it. You guys see that? Okay. Oh, this ain't working. Hold on, what's going on? Y'all, hold on, I got plug issues. How about we just put that over here? Still out some. Okay, so I just curl for shapes. So I see I like that this is kind of going to this way. So I'm gonna take this one that way. I'm gonna take this one this way. Okay. So then I'm just gonna go through at the top, closing up that hole. Remember we talked about that in the last classes, closing up the hole. So I'm thinking of this is the hole, and so I added that because I want to make sure that there's no ball looking spot right here. Okay. Turn your head this way. So then I'm still closing up that hole. Think of a flower. I'm pushing it up as I curl. And it looks crazy now, but we're gonna comb it out and you'll see how it just gets that fun pixie look. So you see the top of that? I need to put some action there because why? We're closing up the hole. Okay, guys? And I'm just curling, picking up pieces and having fun. I'm gonna go ahead and bring some of this over. Okay. You guys see what I'm doing here? Okay. That's for sure. Okay. Come on, put it back. Any questions? The stand-up spike again. Oh, I didn't even see that, girl. You look at your wish just big, just granted. Yeah, so the protectant was the girl wax. I don't really get too caught up in heat is heat, y'all.
Before molding, sorry.
Before molding, the foam wrap that coats the hair. And I use a curling wax, which coats the hair as well. So I use the Influence foam wrap that coated the hair. And then I use the curling wax. Heat is heat. Ain't really no way around it. You just gotta make sure that you are protein treating the hair and doing all the other things that actually help the hair. Cause child, let me tell you, no heat check gonna save you. You have to tell your clients about protein treatments. That's for sure. That's for sure. Just make sure you're flicking your wrist with those irons. You know, watch how I'm following the curl through in the direction that I want. That's why I keep combing, because I just want to make sure that everything's going the shape that I want. So I'm gonna come back to that. Right now I'm just placing curls where they need to go. I know this feet's hot. Just smoothing out different parts of the hair. You're almost done. Hold your head down for me. Come on with it. But no. I swear I'm a rapper. I swear. So cuckoo. I'm a rapper. Not really. I can freestyle a little bit though. I'm just putting a little bit of my favorites. I'll tell you guys about this all the time. Pull this off. I love when you're laughing. You can make a song about anything these days. I love putting all these curls in your hair. Spots everywhere. We can just sing about it. Them curls like, hey, hey, got the juice, holla, yeah, yeah. All these curls, they just wet. It's so fine. They don't even know. I'll be curling with these irons. It's going down. We hot like fire. I'm just kidding. It's like, what in the world? This song took me forever to even understand what they were talking about. I'm like, and what don't stop? Stop. Like, I really never knew like what was really happening. I mean, I knew Jeep because I got a Jeep, so I was like, yeah, Jeep. Right. Oh, you hear that? So now I'm just going through, running the iron. I move faster with these. I'm gonna start opening up class with a concert. I'm gonna entertain y'all. I ain't give y'all motivation for the day. Oh my God, that's what's missing. You know, I like to start class off on the right note, Lord Jesus. I was so into teaching mode because I was like, I gotta actually. Haircuts are technical. You know, you want people to understand, get it. All night. Okay, take one. So I'm just going through with the iron, the C iron. What size? It's a C1 by Kazuri. We almost done. And guys, just remember the class schedule, all the timers and stuff are gonna be in the login. Why my earring always falling off? I'm just going through with the C iron, silking out the hair. Hold your ear down for me. Just fall off. And I'm literally just picking up hair. I'm trying to leave my arm up so you can see. Vanity, vanity, vanity.
I don't understand why Chris Songs would just do the song now.
Well, that would have been nice.
That's who she sang.
Because Breezy's bigger. What? Breezy, and that's his artist. I'm a Chris Brown fan to the fullest. Trey Songz, he can get it. But I ain't really feeling his singing. Like, I'm such an R. Kelly fan, so when he disrespected R. Kelly, get out of my book, Trey. I don't like it no more. His, all that yodeling. It's too much. It's like you are singing just like R. Kelly. So I don't know where you think you get off talking about my boy. I will fight you over R. Kelly. I'm sorry for the Trey Songz fans out there. Boo. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Actually, true.
Right. It's a mixture of people that he should just thank Jesus for. Because it wouldn't even be hot. We almost done, y'all. I like Seven. Seven has a great personality. No, but for real, people like I got proof. I got proof, guys. She's really nice, I promise. All right, so curls are in. Oh Jesus, this is a habit. So I'm gonna go ahead and just finger style her hair out. Y'all like that salon music talking a little bit. So I'm just gonna go through with my comb is. Take a comb. Just gonna break that up. Don't be scared to break it up. A lot of these styles be looking too organized. Like, don't nobody want no organized box hairstyle. So I'm going to get some glue. I love this stuff. I'm just gonna put my hands through it like so. And just make sure you comb it in place. Play with it. Customize it. Don't let it tell you nothing to do. Just use this to put the sides down. Put this on the tips. And see, the point cutting and all the wispiness is what makes the hairstyle, unique. Don't put me back. Yeah, girl, that looks fly. Put some of this on the back. I love this because it keeps the nape area clean, right? It helps lay it down. That's super cute. What y'all think? Let me know what you think in the chat box. I'm about to let y'all go for the day. What do you guys think? Bravo, bravo, yay. And just remember, it's time to do some social media. So then, let's see. Go through, with a camera. Rotate yourself, Shell. And take a picture. I do more. Come on, Leah. I missed her. So then just have your clients rotate, and then I hope you can see my camera. People can see, my camera?
Yeah, well, now they can.
They can now?
Yeah, but it's blurry. Okay, come back.
Down.
Down. Okay. Kind of tilted because it's blurry. Oh, there you go. There you go.
Okay, so now we're gonna do our picture. And even though I'm far away, I can still crop, right? And then I can just zoom in a little bit. Shell, rotate for me. I'm gonna auto lock. I'm just gonna snap a couple pictures. And I'm just going to take some good pictures. Boom. Super cute, y'all. That's bomb. This is bomb, girl. Look at you. Just got a little haircut. Now I need to find a model this week. That's right. I like how you thinking, Valerie. No, Valerie's right. Y'all give Shell, everybody say thank you, Shell. Give her a hand clap. She can exit. That's super cute. That's cute. So here's the deal. This week, anytime you watch a class from anybody, like this is how obsessed I am. Like you need to find some way that you can practice immediately. You don't retain things, especially in this type of work. You need to practice. That's why I was like, let me stop doing so many people in one class and just tone it down so you guys can get one thing and go and implement. Point cutting is going to change the game on your haircuts. I promise you. Like if you're not doing it, you've been doing box cuts. I'm not knocking what used to work. It's just nobody wants that anymore. And even if they just get it because, you know, maybe you just the same people they've been going to for 20 years or whatever, they want texture. They want to be able to do their haircut like this. Like the best part as a stylist of wearing my hair like this, Toya, I saw you wearing your hair like this. That's because when your haircut shows, that's your brand. So you want to go ahead and rock the cuts yourself. You want to put the cuts on the client. And before I curl a client, I always go through with a product and show them their haircut. I show them, you see that, you see how I'm moving it, you see how I'm finger styling it. I show them that so that they see what's possible. It builds trust and they don't want to go anywhere else. So also it's about retention. So you want to do the things and let them know what you're learning or the things that you're picking up on and what you're doing because you want them to be as excited and be dedicated to you. And you want to always just be, you know, in communication with them so that they feel confident so that when they leave and something happens, they understand that they got a point cut haircut and they will be okay. So you want to just keep them educated and you keep yourself educated. Let's see, me to Val, LON, one who's willing to give. Oh, thanks so much, guys. Thank you, LaTanya. Thank you, guys. Go ahead and find a model. Implement this stuff, man. Like put it into action. So we're going to go ahead and go. I try not to make these classes too long. Still was 2 hours. It only did one thing today. So I'll post the next class in the group. Remember, log into the group. That's when you check for updates. Also check your inbox because I'll also email out the next updates as well. I know everybody ain't tech savvy. My advice, get with it because that's what it's 2015. Everything's going to be overly technologized. That's the word I just made up. In 5 years. So you need to like get tech savvy. So what you don't know, ask so I can help you so that you can stay updated and informed. Remember, guys, dominate your space. Don't be just in the space talking about I'm a hairstylist. Own that ish. Like get with it. Like get cuckoo about it. Get excited. Go practice everything that you're learning. And just keep looking, have an eye for things and start implementing as quick as you can, guys. Get hungry and obsessed. Until the next class, the replays are still up. I left them up because people still wanted to watch them. So they're up. Go and see you in the next class. Thank you so much for your time. Bye.